Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you for joining me today. Huge show. Thursday, April 30th, 2026. The Schizop-ocalypse. That's what we are living through. The end times schizo-slopaganda apocalypse. In the griftocracy. New AI meme I made this morning. My brain is spiritually circumcised. You guys know what to do. You know the shtick. You know the spiel. Donald Trump again pressuring Israeli President Herzog to pardon Netanyahu. What does Netanyahu have on Trump? He says, quote, "He will be a national hero if he gives Bibi a pardon. I will very much appreciate it," Trump said. He's going to cave to Trump, too. Watch. He's going to get it. Oh. He added, Netanyahu's trial makes Israel, quote-unquote, look bad. And that Bibi is a wartime prime minister, which he said in every other push for it. He can't have this hanging over his head. What does he have on him? Could be this, could be this. A suicide note purportedly written by Jeffrey Epstein kept in a Manhattan jail has been kept secret for nearly 7 years. Locked up in a New York courthouse. Big if true. Imagine if they drop a suicide note on us. That would be some content. That would be Kino, as they say. Who knows what he says in that about Trump? Are we going to get that? Next season on Zyotopia. Trump is posting raw Q marketing material. Not subtle, blatant. It's been blatant all along, Owen. It's always been blatant. I like that kick pine sap dance emoji. That's good. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, we're streaming on Kick now as well. Odyssey, guys, if you're on Odyssey, you have to choose now, I think is the time. Kick or Rumble. Pinned to the top of those. And in the description below, powerchat.live/no more news. In fact, I don't see it on the Rumble. We'll get that turned on right now. Getting that turned on. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say this beautiful Thursday. There's Optics Prime. It looked like you guys didn't see that. Are you guys hearing those? I didn't hear that. Or I didn't see it move. Didn't see it move on my audio mixer. Could you guys hear the super chat being read? Let me know. Trump posts, "The storm is coming. Nothing can stop what is coming. White hats in control. Grab your popcorn. Saving Israel for last." So, dude, they still got the Q people stringing along. It's overt. Just overt propaganda. Trust the plan. No sound on the chats. Okay. Seen but not heard. I got to look into that. I don't know what the deal is. I didn't change anything. Assemble the Goyim. Assemble the Goyim. Dude, this was cool. Comic the Insult Dog. I'm pretty sure the comedian that does this, he used to always do it on Conan O'Brien that I used to watch when I was younger. Now he's roasting Marco Rubio here. The guy's Jewish, right? The actor or the comedian that does this. Maybe he's Italian. I think he might be Jewish. I don't even know his name. I can't remember, but this is a good one. Hold on. Now that on. Oh, I know what happened. Hold on. I got to change my speakers to a different thing.
Posting? Or pod racing? Is gaming Jewish LOLJK, or not? Is Rumble too Jewish? Is any platform not Jewish? VPNs are most Jewish now sadly, except independent ones.
I mean, why stop there? Is Facebook, is Instagram, is X, is everything Jewish? Is our whole world in existence, is the matrix we live in Jewish? Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Rumble. In fact, best off, I'm starting a new YouTube, and we're gonna be back on YouTube. YouTube's not Jewish. YouTube's way less Jewish than Rumble and Kick.
Marco, come on, you can do this.
What's the matter, Mr. Secretary? Afraid of a little dog?
I'm down on my luck, Marco. Please, just one question. Just tell me which country you're attacking next. I'm trying to win some money on Polymarket. I'm trying to win some money on Polymarket, man. Just give me a wink if it's Kazakhstan.
That's a good one. Give me a wink if it's Kazakhstan. Dude, the Polymarket stuff is so shady. In fact, I saw a story that some Marine or Special Forces, he knew they were going to go do the Venezuela attack, and he bet money on Polymarket. It was that or Iran. He made a ton of money, and they found who it was and arrested him for it. Trump is such a comedian. He's got some funny ones coming. Like, look, he's making fun of. They ask him if he's going to wear a bulletproof vest. All the Trump clips we have today are just him dropping hilarious jokes, basically, being hilarious.
Follow up on the security changes. Is there talks about you potentially wearing a bulletproof vest moving forward, given you have now been shot at?
I don't
so
know if I
many
can
times?
handle looking 20 pounds heavier. These guys, they look some of these guys.
I don't know if I can look 20 pounds
These
heavier.
guys are physical specimens. Some of these guys have traveled. Get him away from me. I don't want to be near him.
He's just like a comedian. It's like we're watching a movie and our president is a reality star comedian, actor.
And believe me, frankly, the vest did an amazing job because it took a bullet close up.
I want to follow up on the security changes.
This one's even funnier. He's making fun of the Jewish head of NASA's ears, like we all were, and everybody does probably. Even Trump's cracking jokes about the big ears on his Jewish head of NASA. Donnie Dangerfield. I like that, autonomous. Yeah. Dude, I'm disappointed. The White House press conference or a correspondence dinner, he was about to do a huge roast of everybody. Like I said, though, it'll probably be better next month when they reschedule.
Are you considering relocating NASA's headquarters out of D.C. once the lease is up? States like Texas, Ohio, and Florida.
Well, the best man to tell you that is the man standing right over here. You heard that question? With those beautiful ears of yours? He's got great hearing, you know. He's got super hearing.
Trick of the trade.
He's like, how is this real life? Is the president really making fun of my ears? Self-conscious his whole life about his big ears that stick out. Did you hear that question over there, Jacob? Jared, whatever his name is. Did you hear that with those big, beautiful Jewish ears you got there? How funny is that? Biden was funnier unintentionally? Dude, I don't know. I mean, Trump is definitely funnier than like Joe Rogan. Two radar dishes, yeah. They put him as the head of NASA because he could communicate with the moon and to Mars with his giant antenna ears. That's funny.
Are you considering relocating?
Ears of yours? He's got great hearing, you know. He's got super.
Dude, did you see his body language? It seemed a little body language expert. It seemed like he's laughing, but really inside it's like, you know, he's internalizing the trauma of being made fun of his whole life. When's the ADL disavow that Trump's anti-Semitic, making fun of his ears?
Hearing, you know, he's got super hearing.
Trick of the trade, sir.
Trick of the trade. Trick of the trade.
Out of D.C. once.
Trump. I said this too when the Strait of Hormuz thing was going on. First, he posted the meme Strait of America, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna call it the Strait of Trump." That's what he's gonna joke about. And sure enough,
Seriously, I think I'm watching President Camacho from Idiocracy here.
President Camacho. Yeah.
Dauntless dissident and sent $5 on Rumble. Professional poster for a president.
Shit poster for president. It's hilarious. The Strait of Trump. See, if we had our AI dialed in, I could be like, AI, I could just talk to it. AI, go search my folder of all my video files where I mentioned this. He's going to call it the Strait of Trump. And it's going to be like this title, this minute, this second, and then I could find it and clip it. I need that. Big Brain Tech, help me. Big Brain Tech, are you out there? Tech Monkey, are you out there? Help me be able to search all my files so I can find things that I said. Come on. OpenClaw? OpenAI Codex? I don't know, dude. All right. So we started the stream yesterday with this mix from See Through It All. About all the rabbis talking about destroying Edom. But now Alex has posted, watch ultra-Orthodox Jews visit InfoWars headquarters and demand Trump destroy Israel. So are we base Jewsing? Is that what we're doing now? Let's see this. Dude, way too close up, bro, by the way. Nobody needs to get this close. I can see the rotting of his teeth and smell his breath.
So basically our message to the Americans, first of all, is to, since we are here in the U.S., we have to honor the officials. So I'll say that my message to Honorable President Trump is that he should recognize the big difference between real Jews and false Jews. And if he wants to help Jews, the help is to destroy Israel totally. That's the biggest help.
Dude, these guys are just playing the opposition. Oh, destroy Israel. Like, you mean so the Messiah can come and destroy everybody that comes to destroy Israel? No wonder RT and this Christian Muslim Nutra-Carta Jewish alliance. Oh, go destroy Israel, goy. Meanwhile, the other Jews are like, oh, they're all going to come and team up and come destroy us, and then we're going to win. And then they'll be Zionists. Also, he says he's in America. A lot of these Nutra-Carta anti-Zionist Jews actually live in Israel. Their anti-Zionist is completely superficial. They just believe, they say that the Messiah has to come first. And also, they still believe in the Talmud also. But unsurprisingly, RT also signal boosted these real Jews, supposed real Jews, and Zionism's not Judaism pushers. Of course, RT would push that. And Alex Jones. And Jay Dyer. Jay Dyer on RT with this John Kirkakow guy.
Bystander Syndrome sent $5 on Rumble. I thought you didn't believe in Jewish fairy tales.
I don't. Why are you saying that? I don't believe in Jewish fairy tales. Clearly.
And for the American people, we will say also same thing. Please recognize the difference that this terrible state is not a Jewish state, and it's not a help for the Jews.
Oh, it's not Jewish. Don't blame Judaism. Don't blame Jews. It's just secret Satanist Khazarians, blah, blah, blah. Anything but Jews and Judaism doing their thing. This is like Jewish cover for Israel. Just like RT is always using these people and then spinning it and saying, oh, it's white supremacy. It's imperial colonialism. It's the Christian Zionist. Anything but Jews and Judaism blamed. And unsurprisingly, that is what Jay Dyer was just on RT saying. Israel is a geopolitical tool of the British Empire. Oh, it's just the Bilderbergers and the Atlanticists just using the Jews as a scapegoat. Okay, we've heard this bullshit disinfo a million times.
It's the opposite. It's the biggest problem. It's the number one danger for Jewish people, and not only for Jewish people. It's also number one danger for the world. still claiming the Jewish state of Israel must go.
How's it going today?
Good, thank God.
So what are you doing out here?
It's Rob Jew. Rob Jew is giving us the scoop from the Jews. I'm not saying he's really Jewish. I don't know. I don't think so.
We're coming out and
Seems pretty Nordic to me.
The state of Israel claiming to be the Jewish land is false and is absolutely the opposite way of the religion of the Jewish people and of the Holy Torah and the word of
Oh my
Almighty
God.
who gave.
These are the vocal minority, by the way, too. Not even 5% of all religious Jews agree with these people. They see them as heretics. Yeah, it's just like, a bunch of Jews in the Jewish Holy Land calling it Israel, Zionism. Nothing to do with Jews and Judaism, though. Don't blame them. I'm so sick of hearing this. It's the same thing. Not real Jews, not real Christians, all the no true Scotsman fallacies every single time.
Us the Torah and he taught us that we should follow all his commandments, and if we will, then he will give us the Holy Land. If not, he will exile us and take it away from us. And that's what happened, unfortunately. And he exiled us and he warned us and forbid us to return until he will come and give it back to us. Right?
See, forbidden to have Israel until the Messiah comes, and then it's still the same as all the other Jews in Israel. Conquer the Goyim, all the Noahides worshiping the Moshiach and the God of Israel from Jerusalem. The law will come forth from Zion, like the waters cover the sea. All Judaism is Zionist, and I think all Christianity and Islam is also Zionist. If it's rooted in the God of Zion, I think it's Zion. And the Jews view them as Noahide, and they believe in prophecies of Jewish messiahs. It's Zionist. It's Jewish.
Now, that state of Israel was created by people who dropped the religion and they don't want to.
Oh, it's secular. The secular Israel. They always push that shit too. As if there weren't religious Zionist movements before and during that also. Yeah, if Jesus existed, he looked just like this, guys. There's our new model Jesus.
Know God and they don't want to follow his commandments. And they're still claiming to be Jewish, but it's false. They're not. And they're making their voice very loud, claiming all the Jewish people are with them and they represent them all, which that's false. Absolutely wrong. And it's
just 95+% of them. Just 95%, but not all. So, come on.
Somebody who is Jewish cannot take a part with this heretic, terrible state, which is called State of Israel.
36 minutes? Dude, they gave this one anti-Zionist, Russia-approved Jew 36 minutes. That's more than InfoWars has ever played in rabbi clips talking about destroying Edom.
Bystander Syndrome sent $5 on Rumble. Real question. If the last of Israel were hypothetically turned into a crater that wouldn't be uninhabitable for 10,000 years, would you say it was Jewish 5D chess?
No. I would not say that. Obviously.
Sent $5. Jacob sent spies to tell Esau he was master just to appease Edom.
True. Well, there's no way I'm watching 36 minutes close-up of this guy. I will be heart rate maxing if that happens. We're at 72 right now. A little elevated. A little worked up. But that is crazy that InfoWars gave more time to this one kosher anti-Zionist Jew than he ever did playing clips of all the supremacist rabbis saying destroy Edom. He talked about it one time, acting like he's going to expose it, and then moved right on to the spin. Disinfowars spin cycle. I want to see a little bit of what people are saying in the comments here, too. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Sounds like Jewish bullshit to me. Oh, there we go. Now share this one. Yeah, now share all the other rabbis, the majority of rabbis and what they think about Edom and Zionism. Thank you, Tony. True. How long until this is removed from X? Give me a break. It got amplified. Time to liberate the Jews. We should liberate them from Judaism, period. But these ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Jews here are not trying to do that. They want you to be a Noahide slave. Thank you. Sam Parker gets this. We're still falling for this in 2026. The quote-unquote real Jews here represent less than 0.1% of world Jewry. Exactly. Stop using them to run cover for the issue. Thank you. You're compromised. Zionism comes from Judaism. Thank you. Glad to see people aren't falling for it. Perfect. Look. The Jews with power control Trump. These Jews are just peasants in the eyes of the ruling class Jews. Yes.
Bystander
Goy Beam got
sent
me.
$5 on Rumble. The Goy Beam holy.
Keep going.
I think the key locus of change would have to be waking up more and more people to the problems of Christian Zionism. That's something that we focused a lot on my channel in the last several years. And, so many people in the Bible Belt
I learned now he was a Zionist. He was 20 years old. He was an adult, and he was so gullible and had such a lack of discernment. He was a Christian Zionist when he was 20 years old.
in the Midwest, they've really been captive to this false ideology, which makes them think that they have a religious duty to support a modern atheist socialistic nation state that was really sort of the experiment, you could say, of the British Empire and of, even before that, Rothschild interest to sort of set up a pilgrimage site, which eventually become.
They don't care, dude. They don't care. They know that it's Jews in Israel, and there's prophecies about Jews returning from exile, and they need the Jews there and a third temple and the Antichrist for Jesus to come. They don't care. You can call it secular a million times. The fact is, there's a bunch of Jews. Many of them are religious. Everything's Jewish. And even if everything is not Jewish, it's still Jewish. This criticism of Israel that it's not Jewish enough isn't going to cut it.
A geopolitical tool of the British Empire. So there's really nothing explicitly Christian about it. And the more that you go into historic Christianity prior to modern evangelicalism, there's even less support for any idea of a nation state of Israel or some sort of Zionist state that we have a duty to support. So I think if we can really wrest away from the mindset, the grip that this idea has on so many people in America and the Bible Belt, we'll probably be a lot better down the road, at least in terms of removing this subversion. This foreign subversion is really what it is, and it's been entrenched.
What would you call the Russian Orthodox Church? Foreign subversion? What would they call you scapegoating the British Empire and secular atheism for Judaism and Jews?
For so long that it's really difficult to get rid of it.
All right, and now here is, I saw this today too. These guys fighting, calling him a Russian agent, basically.
CIA agents who are now YouTubers get into a heated debate mid-podcast. And this one gets very interesting.
Why are you working with Russian state media?
Oh, because I've got 5 kids and nobody's beaten a path to my door to give me work.
We've seen many people in this position being accused of this very thing. He does something unusual and just owns it, claims, look, I have kids to feed. The government threw me in prison for exposing.
Oh, nobody else will pay me to talk about certain things except Russia. It's like they're only paying you to talk about things because you are touting the lines they want promoted. That's why. If you get invited on Russia TV, you get boosted by RT. They give you a show on RT. It's because they see you as useful. Maybe a useful idiot. Maybe you know what's up and you're just doing their propaganda for them. Such a cope. Oh, they're the only ones that'll pay me.
Or to give me work.
We've seen many people in this position being accused of this very thing. He does something unusual and just owns it, claims, look, I have kids to feed. The government threw me in prison for exposing the waterboarding program under Obama.
That is exactly the foundation for how Russian covert
influence operations happen.
Aw, poor CIA.
Andrew is kind of taken aback by this.
Fuck the American government. What have they done for me? What have they done for my children?
Do you really
Besides violate my rights?
Do you really not know the answer to that?
Come on, man.
He doesn't land a single blow in this entire interaction. This is a really interesting game being played here. I would be interested to know how people feel about this. I don't know what the right answer is.
It was the CIA that put me in prison. What in the world do I owe the CIA?
It was your decisions that put you in prison.
It was the CIA's law-breaking that put me in prison.
It was your choice to highlight the CIA's law-breaking to media that put you in prison.
There we go.
And there it is. That is the moment that Andrew lost this thing.
He shared classified information with a journalist about waterboarding.
It was your decision to highlight the CIA's law-breaking. When is it okay for a whistleblower to blow the whistle?
So he's going to go work for Russia as if Russia wouldn't. What would Russia do? What would Russia do if they had somebody in their military leak some classified stuff? What do you think Putin would do?
Government, I think, or the agency maybe, would have been perfectly happy if...
Crazy that this is on Danny Jones, too. Danny Jones seems to be real close with a lot of the Russian sphere.
Starved to death from lack of work, or ended up at McDonald's, and I worked hard to rebuild my life. The only people who offered me a job were the Russians.
That seems to be John Kiriako's message. More information is good. I'm going to use the platform that's available to me. It's up to the people listening to think for themselves.
Your children's, they live every day under the protection of the United States. They have all the benefits.
He shared classified information that identified a covert operative.
American citizens. You get to enjoy. You're here on an American podcast. You flew on an American airline. You're staying in an American protected hotel.
What do you think my children's memories are?
The police officers driving around the streets right now, all of these people are contributing to the freedoms that you have.
Oh, wow.
All of them.
Wow.
And you're sitting here saying...
You're a true believer.
I'm a true believer in the fact that we have to serve the American dream. We have to serve the American purpose. That's what we're here to do.
And that's exactly what I'm doing by opposing the American government.
These two guys couldn't be more different in their perspective.
Working for
which is what
our
makes this
adversaries.
interaction so interesting.
You don't oppose the American government by making yourself a voice for Russian state media.
Why not?
Because you're not talking out about the American government, first of all. What you're talking out about is Putin's invasion of Ukraine.
No, I talk about the American government every single day.
So whoever you're speaking to, you are giving.
So that's who just had Jay Dyer on.
I think the key...
Blaming the British Empire for Israel. Oh, you interpret the Old Testament like the rabbis do. It's like, yeah, I know what the rabbis think. I know what Christians think. It's like this scapegoating of the West for Israel, this scapegoating of deflecting away from the Torah, wanting to become the new Israel, affirming their covenants. This is funny. This is going around everywhere. So Seraphim Rose was a Protestant converted to Orthodoxy. He's like the top guru of the Ortho Bros. Wrote a bunch of books. Some monk. A homosexual who abandoned sin for true love in Christ. He became the broom of Christ. A suicidal man who found joy in Christ. Isn't it always this story? A tormented man who gave himself to be transformed in the will of God. In his opinion, a saint for America's modern age. I'm blocked. That's funny. So you're telling me that the top ortho bro guru is literally gay? A suicidal gay man that became a celibate monk? Maybe Jay Dyer is right, and a lot of these ortho bros and these Christians just need Jesus, because without him they would just be totally flaming homos. They would just be like really, really into butt stuff with dudes if they didn't have Jesus. So instead they become incels and grow beards, and then they become married to Christ and they bow down to all their icons on their wall. Yeah, it's like Milo. Their ortho bro Christian saint is like Milo. That's crazy. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I need to play that one. Yeah. Oh, ex-gay. So now he's just praying the gay away. He's just in a homoerotic relationship with Jesus and his six-pack ripped abs on the cross. That's funny. I was looking on Audible. I'm thinking about getting one of his books, maybe. Although I don't want to donate to the cause at all. I'd like to hear a little bit of what he has. A book called Nihilism. I almost got it, and I was like, I'll do a review or watch a video on it first. But without the Bible, how would you even know that butt stuff is bad? How would you even know? If it weren't for Jesus, I'd just be like totally gay, man.
Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus Christ, you're such a little bitch.
Eastern Orthodox author was a gay man who started a monastery with a gay pedophile. The monastery he started fell into pedophilia and scandal shortly after his death. That's from a Catholic, Pope Respecter. Wow. Womp, womp, womp. Oh, that reminds me. I saw a video today. It was trending. It was top trending video. Here it is. Orthodox prayer brings the whole place to tears and wins the talent competition. Because there's nothing they fear more. They're just trying to destroy this so bad.
Missionary sent $20. J. Dyer is a bit too full of himself. I reckon you'd wreck him in a debate, without incidents. Tag. This drawn-out article, translatable, elaborates how it's BS.
Oh, I'm full aware how tag is BS. I've seen a lot on it. Talked a lot about it.
Bystander Syndrome sent $5 on Rumble. I bet that ortho bro thinks of circumcised heart penises often.
Every day he prays to his circumcised heart wiener. Okay, so look at this. This just seems fake to me too. Everybody starts crying. But it is in Serbia. There's a lot of Christians in Serbia. Do ortho bros like blast this in their cars when they drive around? Is this what they put on when they whack off to Jesus icons? It sounds nice. If we heard all the things they were saying, I'm sure it would be cringe. Beautiful because it's Aryan singing it. Yeah, as long as you don't hear any of the words, it's actually listenable. They got the full range of voices. So they got the really high-pitched little eunuch choir boy doing the high notes. Needs more cowbell. Play the Japanese one next. There's a Japanese one? I know, if we had the translate, it would be like, all the goyim will bow down rivers of blood. All the goyim will bow down to Jewish God tonight. Stuff like that. You goyim are the footstool. Every knee will bow to the God of Zion. They're all crying and shit. It's so beautiful. Rabbi Jesus is so beautiful. Nothing more masculine been being in your all-male singing choir. Jews are the chosen people. Two Asians in the DMs? Okay, I'll look for it, Amulet. Hold on. Okay, that's enough. We don't need to hear the encore. Paschal Troparion at the tomb of St. Nicholas in Japan. Orthodox Christianity in Tokyo. This feels so universal and globalist. Makes me think I went to Disneyland with the fam last week and we went on It's a Small World. It reminds me of It's a Small World. Everybody, the whole globe, global messianism, worshiping the Jewish Messiah together. That's what it feels like when I see that. Does anybody know in the chat, are the Ortho Bros coping hard over this? Are they denying it?
Bystander syndrome.
Or is it pretty well known?
For real. This needs more beaches.
Yeah. It's like when let's see. Are they coping hard? Where's the cope? I want to read some cope. It's funny the Pope calling Orthodox gay as if all their priests and popes aren't involved in pedophile cover-ups and are also closet gays for Jesus. And you know why is this extra so funny? It's because we played clips of Jay Dyer yesterday going, pagans are gay. Without Rabbi Jesus, we'd all just be gay. You can't even say that butt stuff is bad without the Jewish God's book to tell you it. Can't even give me a secular materialist reason that butt stuff is bad. Put it in, pull it out, and smell it, and you know it's bad instinctually. We evolved in nature to have man and woman, male and female. That's what those genitals have been crafted by evolution in nature to do. There's your rational, non-Bible, non-Jewish magic needed explanation. I can't believe that they're going to try to say pagans are gay when their top guru is literally gay. Here's the other one from Amalek. Yeshua, yeah, the real Christian, and just like in America, just like in most of the West, it's not going to be the based ortho-bro Christianity that takes over everywhere. It's going to be the Zionist, kosher, Noahide Christianity is going to spread to all the nations. That's the plan. Replacing their cultures. I got to go to the EMJ clip about the Japan didn't want Christianity because then Jews would take over their culture.
Maxed Out Bear sent $10 on Rumble. Ha. Put it in, pull it out, and smell it and you know it's bad instinctually.
Yeah.
Quote of the day.
Yep. Well, Dyer in the clip yesterday that See Through It All put, he's like, you can't make any argument without the Bible that it's bad. It's like, dude, are you retarded? The easiest arguments. No, without the Jewish book saying it's a sin to lay with another man, like, you can't even make an objective moral argument. It's all relative to, like, whatever you want, bro. Just like it's relative to Christians that read the Bible and then interpret it however they want. Just like you look at different worldviews, look at Christianity and think that's the moral one, so you think that's right. That was awful. That was just awful. Hate to see it. They should be dressed up in traditional garb, acting proper. Ching, ching, chong, ching, 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 chong. Some music like that. None of this modern hip-hop, Noahide, kosher goy slop. I did not love it. Prominent Christian apologist William Lane Craig compares young earth creationists to flat earthers.
Ask yourself this question.
I agree. But isn't he a young earth creationist? He's the most famous young earth. Is he comparing himself? Is he coming out as a flat earther?
Well, ask yourself this question, Kevin. Suppose that the Bible taught that the earth is a
Chat says, yeah, do the ching-chong stuff. They should be ching-chonging. Yeah. None of this modern Protestant kosher hip-hop. Hip-hop Anonymous?
Flat disc. Well, ask yourself this question, Kevin. Suppose that the Bible taught that the earth is a flat disc surmounted by a firmament like an inverted bowl resting on the horizon in which the sun, moon, and stars are engraved. It's often been alleged that this is what the cosmological worldview of the Old Testament is. Now, suppose that were the case. Is the Bible-believing Christian forced to sacrifice his intellect?
Candace is getting sued, Surf Waffen. Can you share that link?
To be a gay black man because when you are washing your dick, how do you know when you have gotten all the off? When your dick is colored.
That's so gross, dude. Why would you put that in our minds? That's not a mental picture I wanted to think about, bro.
And do
I've heard that one before too.
Flat, and that there is a hard
Ask Milo.
of the earth in which the sun and moon and stars are embedded? Well, I don't think so. I think in a case like that, you need to re-examine your interpretation of the scriptures to see if
when you can't taste it anymore. Oh. Former Charlie Kirk security chief Brian Harpole has filed a defamation lawsuit against Candace Owens after she accused him of attending a meeting at Fort Huachuca. Yes, let's go. No, screw that. No like for AF post. That's who that's from, huh? Yeshua HaMashiach. Dude, put her out of business. That's crazy. That's awesome. Bring her down for that stupid lie.
them. Or if you haven't, then I think this is going to force you to revise your doctrine of inspiration in order to accommodate the truth. And believing that the world...
Dude, even the most kooky, creationist, evolution-denying Christian apologist is shitting on the flat earthers that believe in a firmament. That's how you know it's bad.
Is only 10 to 20,000 years old, Kevin, is really just about as bad as believing in a flat earth.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Did he say that?
Only 10 to 20,000 years. And believing that the world is only 10 to 20,000 years old, Kevin, is really just about as bad as believing in a flat earth.
Are you telling me he's not a young earth creationist? He doesn't think the world is 6,000 years old? Am I getting him mixed up with Kent Hovind? Craig believes Adam and Eve were members of the archaic pre-Homo sapien species that lived 750,000 years ago. So has he like evolved his position? Evolution has too much proof. He's had to.
_ Hamden sent $50. Finally bought your book.
Yo, thank you.
Trying to catch up for the Substack. Keep up the great work, Adam.
Thank you, James Hamden. I'm glad the book finally got there. The Substack private Zoom call book review is going great. I'm enjoying it. It's a cool way to read the book, listening to it and talking about it and hearing authors' comments and thoughts on things. It's been going well. We're doing another one on Sunday. We might start doing 2 a week too, or moving the day to a weekday, an evening on a weekday. I'll have to throw that out there and see what people say. Imagine how painful it was the last time you stubbed your toe. Yeah. Hold on. Am I missing something there? A divinely caused genetic mutation some 50,000 years ago, which caused greater brain capacity and ability to have a soul. Wow. I stand corrected. He's not a young earth creationist. I could have sworn he was. Christians are seething that he's come to a more reasonable explanation, which I still think is nonsense. God intervened and made the Neanderthals, Adam and Eve, and made them have a soul. As just all of a sudden 2 people had a soul. Every other, living thing with a conscience didn't have one. All right, let's see some of the latest from Fuentes and Alex Jones. Then we have Mark Dice on Alex Jones I want to cover. But you guys know, I've mentioned this many times if you guys have watched the show. When I went to Italy 8 years ago, traveling from one city to another, we stopped in Naples, which is like one of the biggest train stations. You get around by train there, at least we did. And you leave the train station, this major hub, and then it's literally like Africa. It's like sub-Saharan Africa. You go outside, and the streets are lined with third world immigrants, and they're trash and trying to sell garbage. And it was so crazy. And I had a suitcase, and I was with my wife. I ran through that. I didn't even want to pull out my camera to try to film stuff. In fact, somebody tried to pickpocket me there. Some dude was walking in front of me.
Bystander Syndrome sent $5 on
Thank
Rumble.
you.
Not Jewish test.
Confirmed. Thank you. Good to know. So I was walking through, rushing through, trying not to get stabbed, to go to some pizza place in between trains. Some real famous Naples pizza place, which we did go to. So this is what it looks like when you get off the train station for like blocks and blocks and blocks. It's devastating. I thought, who the hell let this happen? How is this possible? So some dude was walking in front of me, and I'm like, he starts walking slow, and I try to walk around him on this bitty sidewalk. I'm pulling my suitcase, trying to get through as fast as I can. And then he keeps cutting me off as I try to pass him and slowing down. And then eventually he stops. And I kind of like bump into. He stops on a dime. I bump into him. And then 3 guys behind me try to shove their hand in my pocket and grab my wallet. And luckily I was wearing shorts and I had like a Velcro thing on it. And then I like punched down as they were trying to pull it out of my pocket. And I turned around. I was like ready to fight these dudes. And then they're like, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. And I made a big scene. They just tried to steal my wallet. And nobody cared. They probably see it every day with every tourist that walks by. But it is just despicable what's going on in Naples, in Italy, and lots of big cities, and even back countries in Europe. It was at this moment I realized the white replacement agenda that was being hoisted upon everybody in Europe. It was crazy, but they got somebody else pulled out their camera and got a video of this. I don't know how this is not unacceptable. They need to get a boat, put every one of these people out on this street on that boat, and ship them back. I don't care where they go, wherever they came from. Christian country. The rabbis are like, have you seen Italy, Rome? It's got to be destroyed by third worlders and immigrants for destroying our temple. It's a barbecue. France is a barbecue. Remember Rabbi Anava? I've never, also when I was in England, that was in Italy. Another time I'm in England and I'm looking up best English breakfast. I want to go to the most traditional, authentic, famous English breakfast. I find the spot, Google Maps, hop on the bus. It takes me, and all of a sudden, I'm right at Big Ben and the famous bridge. And then 2 minutes, and I'm in another country. I'm in Little India. All the buildings, everybody, it's all Muslims and Indians. And then right there, smack in the middle of it, the market's next door with all their spices and their vegetables and their meats all out on the street. Right there, right next to the traditional English breakfast. And I'm thinking, holy shit. This is not good. And then if anybody talks about it, they ban you from everything, lock you up, run propaganda and campaigns against you. It's, hey man, the Christian West. This is the fruits of the Christian West. This is where the Christian West has led us. They want to do it here. They are doing it in places here. Anyway. It's very disappointing to say the least. Let's hear Jones say, you were right, I was wrong. Yeah, Nick was wrong too. You were both wrong about Trump for the last decade. But Jones going along with the Nick was right about everything. Nick predicted it. It's just baffling to me. A decade too late, he finally figures it out. And then people are pretending like he was the first.
But how does Trump think hitching himself one of the most unsavory people, and his numbers are the lowest, 32% plunging? How did he go from jumping for people that supported him but warned him he was doing wrong for our overall agenda to like jumping in bed with his enemies that hated his guts? I mean, Trump is definitely degenerated.
Dude, he's always been with Zionists, dude. What are you talking about? This idea like, oh, the old Trump was good and the new Trump's bad. He's always been the same exact Trump.
All he's got left. I mean, that's the saddest thing is when you or him or anybody looks around, that's all that's left in his camp. Anybody else that's sensible, all the grassroots from the very beginning. I mean, you were one of the first big interviews when people started to pay attention to Trump when he went on your show in 2015. We're all gone. Nobody from the original movement is still hanging on because the principles are not there. The rhetoric's not there. It's just not the same movement. And so
with the $5.
What's up, William?
Hey, Adam. I haven't
Wilhelm
in a while. Hope all are well. Smilo/.
Hey, Afreya. Yeah, we're just over here. We're just doing the thing. Good to see you, Willem.
Approval rating, favorability collapsing. You look around at the
Gallo dance. Thank you.
$5 for years, pointing out white replacement would get you banned from nearly every social media platform.
I know. Tell me about it. I experienced that.
Who do you really have left in the MAGA movement? Yeah, it's Sean Hannity, it's Mark Levin, it's Loomer. And I guess he's just going to take what he can get. So it's a pretty grim and sad situation.
Yeah, he says, I anoint these people. And then, because listen, I talk to Trump supporters everywhere. And I don't go off what my listeners want. I wanted to salvage Trump because I know he was overall better than Democrats. So I kind of held back, not wanting to be precipitous, even though it would be super popular to attack him. I'd say 80% of my listeners are pissed at me that I haven't attacked Trump more. I love Trump like, oh, I don't talk to you. And that's why you do this for clicks. I don't care about CNN playing a clip of me. No, I want to fix the country and the world. I don't know how much danger we're in, but just this idea that, you're not at the cool kid table anymore. It's like sophomoric.
It's ridiculous. And I've known you, and my audience knows you too. And this has been an ongoing conversation between you and I for years. And I know that you had reservations and concerns and skepticism, but literally
We've
for
had
no
private
reason
conversations we put on air. I'm like, Nick, I know it's going bad, but think about the Democrats. We got to.
Dude, Jones interrupts him so much, it drives me crazy.
If we totally leave him, then we'll have no influence. We need to not influence to get contact with him. No, influence to get him to not go sideways. But now I've just given up. I mean, you were right. You were right. I was wrong. I mean, there's no.
All the edits of Nick and his attack on the poor woman that showed up at his house, I'm kidding. It's completely justified, and that's why the case has been dismissed. Although I think she might have a civil case still, but it shouldn't be. What actually happened? These edits are crazy. Dude, the AI world is so entertaining. The AI. All the new AI stuff. Puts her in the... What are you doing? I had a bunch more to play too, and I people were taking them down, or they were getting banned or something. Okay, so here's Mark Dice on InfoWars again. Heavily censored top YouTube and media analyst. Heavily censored? The guy has 2 million subs on YouTube. Sure, he's still on Facebook. Has he been banned from anything ever? He gets like 200,000 views a video. He's got 2 million subs on YouTube, and that's who we're parading around as heavily censored? Like, is he maybe suppressed a little bit in recent years in the YouTube algorithm? Maybe. But heavily censored? I wish I could be heavily censored. I wish my YouTube channel was heavily censored. How about like mildly suppressed? Anyway, and what is he so edgy that he gets so censored for? Telling everybody to vote Republican, promoting Christianity and saying vote for Trump, vote for Republicans. Oh yeah, dude, heavily censored. Really hot takes. And I'm being a little harsh. Mark Dice, I don't like. Typical MAGA, kosher Christian conspiracy theorist, basically. Just like the rest of them. Is he a little bit better, a little more critical than Israel than some? Sure. Has he done some anti-white stuff? Yeah. Amongst the MAGA influencers, is he like get it right more than some of the others? Yes. But let's hear what he has to say in this clip.
And if you sit out the midterms, then you are.
I used to love his videos. What I liked the most was his videos. His videos where he'd go out with the fake signatures, like fake signatures to get stuff on the ballot, and he'd have people sign onto crazy things. That was funny.
Floating in. And if you sit out the midterms, then you are de facto giving a vote to the Democrats. It's sort of like we're in the desert, we're starving, and we're thirsty, and we come across
bystander syndrome.
There's some dirty water that's warm and has some bugs floating in it, and then there is a pile of dog poop and some urine. Okay, those are basically the choices. So it's not perfect. He's never going to be perfect. You don't have to support the man. You support the party. And no matter how much they let us down, no matter how corrupt they are, it still is better than the alternative. And it's not, you're not going to rally so many people to not vote.
And the real reform is in the Republican Party. There are a lot of good local and federal people. So, check it all and get behind the good ones. Exactly. I would say it's like moldy bread and some, water that tastes bad that isn't poison versus rotting roaches and dog crap. It's absolutely the same thing.
Actually, and I'll leave you this. Local is actually more important than federal. Your local city council, your state legislature, your mayor, your sheriff, vote local. And for those people who don't know some of those positions, you can just go and look up your Republican voter guide. So the Republican Party does put out a voter guide showing who they back, because some of these positions in local elections don't have a political party affiliation. And so you don't want to get some liberal sheriff.
Yeah, we got to keep supporting Republicans forever because the Dems are worse.
Finally get to catch a live show since freaking work.
Thank you, Johan.
This my life.
Frickin' work, man. Thank you, Johan. Love the accent.
Because the sheriffs in even certain areas of Los Angeles and other parts of Southern California would not enforce the lockdowns during COVID from Governor Newsom. And so if we
good
can get those
sheriffs
key positions-
are the first thing in the Magna Carta of a real elected person for the people. The sheriff's one of the most important positions out there.
School board, city council, state
Dark
legislature,
mice.
mayors, governors.
Never thought of that.
Even more important, way more important than actually federal elected officials. But
Yeah, in a way,
also
I'm glad that Trump
midterm-
went sideways because now we can stop obsessing on him and talk about the future.
And, you know, I think people should to look at the importance of the midterms as well in terms of taking on the importance of having a majority in the House and in the Senate. Because if we don't, then you can't.
Yeah, my German accent was a little Jamaican. You're right. I've been doing the Rastaman a lot, okay?
Get his legislation passed, and they can impeach him and tie things up. They have subpoena
And they're
power.
going to pack the Supreme Court and do the filibuster. Yeah, we've got to work even harder in this next midterm. I disagree with Nick Fuentes. Punish the Republicans.
Vote for more Christian Zionist Republicans, guys, because the lefts are scary. All right?
Republicans kick them out. No way.
At least they're Christian, ladies and gentlemen. They may be Zionist. They may be rhinos. But at least they're Christian. Better than the satanic, demonic, pedophile cabal of the Epstein and Hillary Clinton. Better than the cannibalistic, satanic, blah, 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 blah. That's what they'll do. All right. What else do we have here? Ball. Let's go. Let's schizo Max. Let's retard Max with some ball stuff from this Enoch kosher conspiracy grifter. Timothy Alberino.
The necromancy is it is the, let's call it the dark art of trying to contact the dead or resurrect the dead. And this was definitely a belief in Canaan, among the Canaanites. We know because there are Ugaritic texts that have been discovered that have summoning rites, that are summoning dead Nephilim. In other words, it's like an attempt to resurrect, resurrect dead Nephilim, re-embody them, or contact their spirits.
It's like a golem or something.
Yeah,
like the myth,
right? And
he's Jewish for sure. He knows about golem.
But before I forget, there's a little bit of a crossover here with the Epstein stuff that you mentioned earlier, because it's apparent that some of our ruling elite are obsessed with Baal.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, have you seen the Baal bank account? Did you see the owl Moloch statue that's really Baal? It's really neither is an owl at Bohemian Grove with Alex Jones. Where's the concrete proof that the elite are obsessed with Baal, by the way? All I've seen is lies from fake grifting supposed insiders like that fake Epstein's niece regurgitating the bullshit. The Baal Moloch satanic scapegoat. So kosher. So kosher. We got another one too. CBN News reports the UFO classification is going to reveal demons.
Baal was a Canaanite deity, right? And so you have this Canaanitish cult that's still being perpetuated among the elite. And part of that...
No, the elite, I'm sorry, are worshiping Yahweh. The Judeo-Christian Islamic elite all believe in Yahweh. Baal is the enemy of the elite's god.
That Canaanitish cult, at least in ancient Canaan, was the cult of giants. So, if you go to the island of Sardinia today, for example, you will find many, many megalithic structures that are still standing. Those are
be scared of the Jewish boogeyman, Goy. That's all I hear when I see this stuff.
Old nurage towers. And they're circular stone towers, and they're pretty impressive, although they're crude. This is Cyclopean architecture. which is
awesome.
Large stones fit together without the use of any binding agent like mortar. And at the top of these towers, some of them are over 100 feet tall. And there were over 30,000 of these things on the island of Sardinia. Over 30,000. At the top of some of these towers were megalithic basalt stones that were cut. So you do have some more of the monumental architecture incorporated into the top of the towers, whereas the rest of the towers pretty crude. But big stones nevertheless in the Cyclopean style. But associated with these towers are what are called the tombs of the giants. To this day, they're called the tombs of the giants.
Really?
On the island of Sardinia. I've been to Sardinia a few times, and I visited many of both the towers and the tombs. And the tombs are configured in the shape of a womb. Now, I used to think that it was a bull's head because of Molech and Baal, and it was clearly...
Hold on. Does anybody see a womb here? I'm not seeing the... Is this the vagina? What is this? The womb. What does the womb even look like? Isn't it just like a sac in the uterus? A womb. I used to think it was a bull's head. That would be just as made up.
Okay. And Baal, and it was clearly a Canaanitish... The ancient culture that they attribute these towers and these tombs to is called the Neuragic people, the Neuragic culture. But the Neuragic culture, it's clear, were Canaanite.
More rock pussies. I know, Miami Makeout. The Ark rock pussy. Dude, more. This is, dude, you ever gone down the rock pussy rabbit hole, bro?
It-ish, for sure.
Womb is the uterus.
Right, iconography. We know that at the very least, we know that the Phoenicians inhabited that island for some time.
More rock pussy. Dude, that's so funny. Dude, the more rock pussies. These kosher conspiracies and their rock pussies
were descended from the Canaanites.
Yeah, dude. These sexually repressed Jesus brides see pussies everywhere. That's so funny. Balls, rock pussy. Everything is dicks and pussies with these people. Yeah, it's the sexual repression.
And had continued on many of their rites, including, according to the Romans, they sacrificed their children to Molech. And that's part of the reason, ostensibly, why the Romans detested them.
I didn't know that.
So these practices, the sacrifice of children was practiced widely by the Canaanites and also by the Phoenicians. The Canaanites, the Greeks called the Canaanites Phoenicians. And so you had that specifically the inhabitants of Tyre, Sidon, and Byblos were Phoenician, and they were Canaanites.
Real Vision says it was the instructions to the aliens on where to find the G-spot. That's so funny. You mean the clitoris? This was an ancient alien formation teaching mankind, teaching Adam and Eve where the clitoris is. The aliens know to land the spaceship in the fallen angel end times of Enoch right on the clitoris. There it is, right there. Checks out.
And Baal, and it was clearly a Canaan.
All they do is slander ancient European cultures. Yeah. Is this European, though? I didn't hear what island he said it was. If he's calling it a Canaanite culture, I hope it's in, like, Canaan.
And it is the ancient...
I like the monolithic.
That they attribute these towers and these tombs to is called the Neuragic people, the Neuragic culture. But the Neuragic culture, it's clear.
Next on Ancient Aliens.
For sure. That culture was Canaanitish.
Ancient
iconography. We know that at the very least, we know that the Phoenicians inhabited that island for some time. And the Phoenicians were descended from the Canaanites and had continued on many of their rites, including, according to the Romans, they sacrificed their children to Molech.
Didn't we already see this?
And that's part of the reason, ostensibly, why the Romans detested them.
I didn't know that.
Based Romans?
So these practices, the sacrifice of children was practiced widely by the Canaanites.
And the Romans also didn't like Christianity and Judaism. For same reasons, similar reasons.
And also by the Phoenicians. The Canaanites, the Greeks called the Canaanites
Sardinia.
And so you had that specifically the inhabitants of Tyre, Sidon, and Byblos were Phoenicians.
It's in Italy.
And they were Canaanites. So, but then there were other Canaanite tribes, right? And in the Old Testament, among these Canaanites were
Sardinia stone towers,
tribes of giants, clans of giants, mostly inhabiting the high country.
Whoa. Hold on. Nice towers, stacking stones. Indo-European languages. These are not Semitic, Canaanite, Levantian people, dude. This is based Aryans. These are Aryan temples. Oh, what do you know? The Wikipedia says nothing about Canaanites or Phoenicians. So this dude's just lying. Dude, they were good builders. Rock specialist. Giant's grave. There's the vagina. The ancient giant vagina. Skull-shaped entrance. Oh, it's supposed to be shaped like a skull. Similar to the court tombs found in Ireland. Dude, these are Atlantean. He's just slandering our true Aryan ancestor temples. That's all he's doing here. All right. Nothing about Canaanites. Nothing about child sacrifice. All right, anyway. Anywho, not surprised.
Necromancy.
Aliens that are created species, what it might
CBN, so the Zionist Propaganda Network's Christian Broadcast Network. Of course, they're real excited about the fallen angels, demon, alien psyop.
Yeah, one more thing about this, because we should just dive into this conversation about what it might be, right? Because I think that is and we address this in the film. If you have a couple of options, you're either dealing with actual UFOs and aliens, that there are created beings beyond this world that we don't understand, and there are some Christians that are comfortable with that, or you're dealing with what she said, which is interdimensional beings. Now, that's interesting, because what is an interdimensional being? Well, a demon would be an interdimensional being, essentially, right? If you believe in angels and demons and you're a Christian, that's what that would be. So one of the primary theories, and this is one that I think is probably the most prevalent among Christians right now, is that people are not actually seeing aliens that are created species outside of humans living somewhere in the universe. They're actually seeing a spiritual manifestation of something that perhaps they're seeing into the spiritual realm. And there are a number of reasons why, and I know this sounds kind of wild, but we address this in the film. The evidence for why that actually could be the case is pretty interesting, and there's some compelling arguments for it.
Oh boy, what film is that? Manipulation of Christians. What's the film? The Fallen Angels? Okay, that's gay. Dude, they have like angel porn.
30 sent $5 on Rumble. Rockets are shaped like penises to land better on Rock S. E Crusader.
Yep, that's how you know where to land the penis rockets on the rock vaginas. Ancient alien rock vagina penis rocket landing pads. That's my theory. Now all I got to do is prop my hair up and go. I'll be a star on Ancient Aliens. Yeah, there's so many Real Vision. There's so many churches everywhere. You can draw lines all throughout them. Yeah, Phil Collins on No More News. Yep, the Owen hypothesis. Yeah, Owen's gonna be like, "You plagiarized my rock pussy theory." Yeah, no Baal mention anywhere in the Wikipedia. Imagine that. More bullshit. I want to know what this CBN documentary is. CBN Fallen Angels, maybe? Investigating Angels and Demons. CBN. All right. What other schizo posting can we do today? Am I ready for this? Am I ready to listen to two rabbis argue about the Messiah right now? I don't know. Kind of just want to watch this until I find something else in my bookmarks.
Choose from thousands of realistic voices to use in your content.
Many of you are aware of the hilarity unfolding with two of the dumbest creationists on the planet, Jay Dyer and Jim Bob. Well, the comedy continues, and you will be genuinely stunned as to how they managed to dig themselves even deeper. So get ready for some laughs. If you're unaware of the context here, a couple months ago I did a reaction video laughing at a few different dumb creationist videos. One of them featured these two jerks, Jay Dyer and Jim Bob. They're both science-illiterate loser apologists who pretend that science is wrong because it hurts their feelings. You know the type.
Literal retards.
Jay got big
mental
mad that I
retard.
made fun of him, so he made this unbelievably pathetic response video where he listens to 3 minutes out of my 30-minute reaction and basically just keeps pausing it and mocking me in a super racist Jew voice, since that's what intellectuals do.
What? And he's not even Jewish. Funny, that's the same thing they all try to do to me too. Rabbi Green, Adam Greenberg, Reddit tier, Fedora. That's all these idiots ever do. They have no arguments. Not only is he scared to debate, and I've already beat all his other kook friends in debates, but they're not debunking any of our arguments. They say Reddit. They go, "You're not serious." They go, "You're don't understand." These are not arguments. They don't want to debate because they can't refute the arguments and the information. Clearly. They just want to keep the grift going. Gay liar and rim job.
The problem, you stupid believers in God.
You don't know what anything is. Well, you don't know.
Meanwhile, you're shitting on scientific knowledge for a Jewish fairy tale Genesis story of creationism. You're promoting the Jewish version of the origin of the universe. Meanwhile, you think you're a spiritual Jew worshiping the ultimate Jew and the king of the Jews, calling everybody else Jewish. That's how retarded these morons are.
Finding this to be ideal fodder for an
and he calls himself a comedian.
easy slam dunk response, last week I made a video crapping on his pointless cope fest. And boy did he and his loser cult get their panties in a bunch about it. The day I released that video, I briefly joined a live stream on another channel to talk about it, and the other loser, Jim Bob from the initial reaction video...
Yeah, you don't believe in the vegetarian shark before the fall theory, so you're like not a serious person. You don't believe that, like, the blood of Jesus is the divine essence of the uncreated life and drink it like a cannibal. Like, you're insane.
Insisted to be led on to debate me. I obliged and proceeded to curb stomp him for 30 minutes. I posted that as well, but in case you missed it, here are a few fun snippets.
So I'm asking if you know anything about embryonic development, which is where new mutations can express themselves as new functionality, new structures, new things. Do you know anything about that process?
Well, no, I would disagree with that statement.
What do you mean you disagree with that?
Web feet is that
doesn't know anything about it, but he disagrees with it. Doesn't know the first thing about it, but I disagree.
Hey, hold is that a dysfunction or a function?
If you live in the water, it's a function.
Whether or not that be an advantage or not, and your answer was we would look to see if it's an advantage.
Because nobody is determining anything. It's called natural selection. Mutations that confer a survival advantage are selected for. It's statistical dynamics. Nobody is deciding anything. If you don't understand that, you don't understand literally the first thing about evolutionary biology. A population
doesn't understand the first thing about evolutionary biology.
Doesn't spontaneously develop a new thing. It's an individual.
I said if.
Okay, so if magic, that has fucking nothing to do with science, what's my response?
You know what's crazy? You know how we were playing the clips of the the cell, how they animated what the cell looked like, and they're like, God did this. Too much faith to be a evolutionist. God definitely did this. Like, what do they think? They think God is like up in heaven, like in the laboratory, like with some tweezers, like, oh, I'm gonna put this here and that there, and this is how the first cell's gonna go. Oh, and I'm gonna design, human right there. Yeah, bad eyesight, back pain, ingrown hairs. Same tube for breathing and eating. There'll be some choking happening. They think design that God like designed us in a laboratory with like different with different tubes and chemicals and stuff. Like, is that what you believe? Oh, he just thought it and it magically appeared and manifested. Or evolution, where it started off extremely basic and simple, chemical reactions, and then incrementally it started becoming more complex through evolution. One's a natural explanation that doesn't require magic. One is just the magic. God did it. God. How? Well, he did it. He just said so, and Adam was made from the dirt.
Learn how new morphology arises. So I'm talking about mutations and embryonic development. Would you like to have that conversation, or do you want to keep shitting your pants about what modern humans are doing?
Well, how would you determine it's an advantage or a mutation that's a disadvantage? How would you determine that?
If it helps them survive and recreate, obviously. How do you not know the answer to this? They act like they got these gotcha questions, and it just reveals that they have no idea what they're talking about and how evolution works.
If it lives longer, if it helps it survive.
Wait, how would you determine that
it swims faster?
Okay, so what part of the process transfers that web foot mutation to its offspring based on selection?
What do you mean? What process?
The genetics. The genetics is passed on. If somebody develops a mutation with web feet or toes, that is more likely to pass on in the next generation, especially if you find a mate that also has that genetic mutation for bigger, more web feet in the population. He doesn't understand. This guy thinks this guy that denies dinosaurs and probably believes in the firmament and entertains flat Earth just doesn't understand anything. Thinks he's smart because he can regurgitate Jay Dyer's tag arguments.
Do you understand how reproduction works? You understand that the offspring gets its genome from the parents, right?
It's really the first time that I've worn barefoot shoes and actually said these are
all of this denial of reality and all scientific understanding because you want the Jews' origin story to be true.
Of those two videos, both of these turds and their cult followers, which, if I may say, are the most pathetic, delusional, reality-denying, insufferable turd burglars I've ever had the displeasure of being aware of, have
absolutely true. These ortho bro cultists. Look, this is 177,000 views too. So these guys are completely mogged. They're the laughing stock. They're the butt of the joke amongst normal people out there in the real world, not in their own little niche circles and echo chambers in their group chats online. They're the worst. All these Christian cultists are the worst. It's disgraceful.
I've been in an absolute nonstop tailspin. Video after video, live stream after live stream, endless loser troll comments on my content they're too afraid to watch, doing nothing but regurgitate.
See, that's all they do. You're gay, you're Jew. That's their only responses to any of this stuff. And they are garbage. Human scum garbage.
The script their masters gave them in what is undoubtedly the most massive cope fest in human history. First, Jim Bob was desperate to farm the half-hour massacre for absolutely anything he could spin into a win, and he settled on this. That's right.
Look at that. AI image giving him a big nose. These are supposed to be Christians. These are the ones lecturing about you can't have morals without orthodox Sky Daddy. They get triggered when you say that. And this is what they do.
a thumbnail of me with a big, presumably Jewish nose, and a 1-minute clip from the end of the beatdown where I explained that biological systems do not have any inherent purpose since they are not designed like man-made objects are, and he couldn't understand that because he's stupid. Pretty impressive, huh? Let's rewatch what Jim Bob is so proud of.
Mutation is random, natural selection is not.
Okay, so then would you agree that from your perspective that the brain was a process of random mutations, produced by random mutations?
Brains in general and every other organ and every other aspect of all life ever, yes.
Okay, so then, and it wasn't developed for any purpose, right?
No, not any inherent purpose, but it serves, it is useful, right? Animals with brains have processing ability, and then especially humans, we have this huge frontal lobe that is capable of all.
Some of us, not the Christ brains, have damaged their prefrontal cortex. Their frontal lobe is severely impaired, altered due to the Christ brain epidemic that so many are suffering from. Not all of us have fully functional frontal lobes, Christians.
I understand. But you would say that your brain has no real purpose, right?
It has no inherent purpose. I use it for the purpose of thinking.
Okay, but it's not made for the purpose of thinking.
There is no God that on purpose made things with the purpose that
I didn't say God. No, God doesn't exist in this hypothetical.
Okay.
I just want you to understand from your view.
Then you would agree that nothing would have any kind of inherent purpose from a higher power. If it's all chance, then there's no inherent purpose.
Hey, Jim Bob, what do you think is the inherent purpose of your God-given brain? To not use it and believe in Jewish fairy tales? Is that what it's for? God gave you a brain to shut it off and believe in the authority of your church fathers and some ancient Jewish scriptures. Is that what your God-given brain is for? To worship the Davidic Messiah?
Anything other than what proliferates due to
cortex mogged. Yeah, dude. Cortex mogging. Professor Dave's got a big brain. He cortex mogs.
A survival advantage.
And so why would I listen to sounds coming from a purposeless brain?
Because
I'm right. God.
It's cute when the frauds I humiliate brag to their fans about how badly I humiliated them.
What's the point of listening to anything you say if the brain doesn't have a purpose? Like, how obnoxious and insufferable are these people?
Then what about Jay? What stupidity was he able to muster up? First, he decided to whine about trans people, obviously. He thinks men can become women. Epstein stuff. And you know every last one of his idiot followers is a MAGA chode, so the irony of this angle will never not be hilarious. Then what? Ooh, look at this little gem. Professor Dave isn't a real professor, and atheism is a psyop.
Not believing in the Jewish God is a psyop to these frauds, to these Jewish propagandists. And Professor Dave was a university teacher. That's what a professor is, right? Oh, and by the way, you go around telling people that you have a master's or a PhD in psychology, and it's actually in English literature with some minor in psychology. And you didn't do your dissertation? Uh-oh, Mr. Credentialist.
Isn't a real professor, and atheism is a psyop. Holy fuck, this ought to be good.
Professor Dave, who, by the way, isn't actually a professor, and I looked into...
Cool collar and shades, bro.
What he actually is. He has a BA, not knocking a BA, but he has a degree now in education, apparently. He's not actually a tenure professor. He's not actually a teaching professor at a university. He said, yes, I did teach a semester at a trade school. Oh, a trade.
Okay, you're not a professor of psychology, so does that mean you're wrong? That's a fallacy. Credentialism, fallacy much?
School? You mean like where they teach HVAC and VCR repair?
No, where they teach chemistry, bro. Where they teach college level chemistry, dude.
Chemistry, a semester at a trade school. Bob Vance, heating and air. Dude was over there lecturing next to Bob Vance.
It's so cute when they do this, and always with the action movie soundtrack, of course. The reality of your incompetence isn't exciting enough, eh, moron? Unsurprisingly, he is pulling all of this completely out of his ass. There is no clip of me saying I taught a semester anywhere. That's why he's not telling you where he heard this, because he didn't. I taught organic chemistry at the Southern California University of Health Sciences from April 2010 to October 2013. That's 3.5 years for anyone who can't do the math, Jay. Yes, it's a trade university. No, they don't teach VCR repair. Health sciences, dumbass. The sciences specifically pertaining to medicine and health. It's in the name of the school. My students were mainly adult postbacks taking care of prerequisites they didn't take as undergrad.
If I say philosophy, I've been saying psychology, huh? I meant philosophy.
In order to apply for various medical programs. Is the place fucking MIT? No, and I don't wave it around for any kind of prestige. It's a university that exists. I taught there as a job.
And what's dumb, too, is like every actual university PhD professor would agree with what Professor Dave is saying. He would agree with about every science thing he said. But then you're going to say he's not a real professor. That's the cope.
My channel was initially just my university organic chemistry lectures. That's why I chose that name. And every time you losers whine about it, you're just announcing that you have zero ability to refute anything I say, hence the transparent ad hominem. See how smart people can actually use that term correctly?
And he's like, now people are saying that he uses a lot of AI and other professors write his videos for him, so he doesn't even write the videos.
So is it AI or is it other professors, dipshit?
Dinesk sent $5 on Rumble. Adam, who would you say is the worst of the E-Crusaders? The Orthobros, the Groypers, or the Christian identity we was to real Jews kooks?
They're all bad in their own way. Who is the least bad, maybe? I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Maybe like the Protestants that are not big Zionist, I would say. A Protestant that's not a big Zionist. That's who I would say are the least bad. Who you asked who are the worst, though? Well, like the most ridiculous are the Christian identities. So it's kind of like who's the worst between the Catholics or Orthodox? I'd say Orthodox probably. But then I don't know.
Brain and the damage it causes to your PFC.
Yeah, he should do a Christ brain video. That would be good. Maybe we should email Professor Dave at gmail.com and say, hey, do a Christ brain video about their damaged prefrontal cortex, the lobotomies that Rabbi Jesus has done on their brains.
Make up your mind. I don't use AI for anything.
Beowulf 9.
Confirmed, Beowulf, no small hat.
Small hat check.
Yeah. Who's worse, Orthodox or Catholics? Let's see. I think they're both very culty. I'd say the Orthodox are more obnoxious with their precept stuff, and they're a little more obnoxious how they're the ones that think that, like, I don't know, they're both so cringe in the same way. Catholics have better cathedrals. I don't know, dude. What does it matter? They all suck. They're all Orthos are more annoying, probably. Yeah, I'd say so.
And for topics way outside of my
more obnoxious and annoying,
I hire experts in the field to write the scripts. I studied chemistry, so I wrote the scripts for chemistry and adjacent topics like biochemistry, biology, math, physics, astronomy, and more. To expand beyond that, I have to utilize the expertise of others. It's not that hard to understand. You're basically just whining about the fact that I don't know literally everything, which nobody does, and I never claim to. And you're upset that I employ qualified people to produce top-notch educational content because you're a fucking idiot who is endlessly hostile towards knowledge and education.
Is it any wonder why
Burn.
he does not want to do a debate? He says, I will never debate philosophy. I only talk science.
You ran your mouth about evolution, shit for brains.
Yeah. See, this is what they want to do. You don't want to talk about religion or science. You only want to do your tag bullshit. He's smart enough to know that it doesn't take it seriously. Why don't you go debate some philosopher on tag since you think you've proven God, you're such a genius? You were running your mouth about evolution stuff. And now you want to shift the debate to philosophy and do your tag bullshit. Like they do every single time.
Pretended like you know how to talk science. Then I took a big dump on you and showed everyone what a science-illiterate moron you are. Cry about it.
To give you an idea of the science that we're talking about, Professor Dave is an ally and an advocate for men becoming women and women becoming men. So
may
what is
not be fully understood yet. Perhaps it's not just random mutation. Perhaps there is
epigenetics,
underlying intelligence or conscious guidance of the differentiation of life.
I don't think so.
To consider.
No, it's a blind process shaped by the environment and selective. But as organisms become more advanced and complex and more developed brains, they start shifting evolution by like selecting for looks or appearance or like a big tail on a bird or something, right? So then it's like evolution is being selected not just by, by beauty and stuff, but no, I don't think there's some hidden consciousness behind it. Epigenetics, maybe on the cellular level, you mean there's something else going on? Possibly. Maybe there's more to discover about it. I wouldn't rule that out.
What does that tell you about your science, man?
C-Dance 2.0 is now on Artlist.
So he wants to debate science, and you want to do philosophy when he's a science guy.
James Tour doesn't know organic chemistry because he is Christ-brained is like saying Tesla.
No, he knows chemistry
because he talked to pigeons.
I didn't say he doesn't know chemistry.
Agnostic, but not agnostic when it comes to origin of life.
Not agnostic when it comes to origin of life, because how do you think it happened then, dude? You think some God like put the chemicals together to create the first cell on Earth and then it started replicating? Where did the magic come in to make the first cell from the first life from non-life? If it can't happen naturally, who intervened, where, and how? Did some alien come from another galaxy and land like in Prometheus and have his little chemistry set and then put the first cell out there? Do we need to watch that?
Followers. Trans people don't become anything. They're born with a sex and a gender identity that don't align. I would direct you to my numerous videos explaining the biology of trans people, but you didn't even watch the videos I made on you, so that would be a waste of time now, wouldn't it?
Young men are not catechized, and men are, of course, meant to be the leaders in society, and when the men fail to lead, or when they are severely repressed and oppressed by a oligarchical degenerate culture and society as we presently are.
This is how it happened. If abiogenesis and evolution isn't how life to explain life on Earth, it must be this. Atlantean Nordic overlord aliens seeded the planets. It doesn't explain the origin of life because this guy would have had to. Who created this guy? Did he evolve naturally from pond scum in abiogenesis? In a pre-cell of RNA that began to replicate? See, so this doesn't even explain. How do you explain DNA? You can start with a simple strand of RNA that's very simple, and then it incrementally evolves to become more complex as life appears to do. Or God in some place that came from some place, in his lab, putting this first cell together with tweezers under a microscope. Like, those are the two options. You can't just say there's a God did it and he just snapped his fingers and then the cell started.
Zorn Dare Edom sent $5. Science can't explain the origin of life. And neither can Christ cucks. Love the movie Prometheus. Not without faults but great vibe.
Yeah, we'll start a new religion. Life started when the alien Nordic overlords landed their phallus UFO on the rock pussy and implanted the earth with the first cell. That's how it happened. In front of the whiteboard, like designing how DNA would work. And he's like, let's have it randomly mutate and then give lots of kids genetic disorders. That's a great idea. Good job, God. I love how Christians will point to things and go, look, it's intelligent design. Look, blah, 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 look how this works. It's so perfect. Look how everything's fine-tuned. But then when you point out any flaws with organisms, flaws that they have, issues that come up, genetic mutations, they go, fallen world. Well, God created everything perfect, but then Adam and Eve sinned, so that's why babies get cancer. Fallen world. Everything's perfect and designed by the all-knowing creator of the universe, but also everything has issues because fallen world. You got to love that cope, huh? Having their cake.
Men retreat and become feminized. They live in fantasy worlds, etc., etc.
Grr, women bad. Man not be like bad woman. Man be good like man. Oligarch bad, except for ultra-wealthy Christian nationalists eroding the separation of church and state. That good.
Optics
I get
Prime
the
sent
feeling that
$5 on Rumble. Why does life have to begin or end? Like matter, it cannot be destroyed and has always existed.
I think it has existed all throughout the universe for eternally, actually.
Garrett sent $5. All bodily structures require genetic code. It has to follow a coherent syntax. Throwing a box of alphabets in the air will not make a book that copies itself. I don't know who wrote it. Not necessary to know who wrote a book to know that someone did.
Well, you have to at least give an explainable explanation on how somebody could do it. And it's not throwing a bunch of random things together and then you get some advanced cell. Chemicals have certain bonds. They have chemical reactions. They link to each other. Like, think of bubbles, right? Think of different chemicals bonding like bubbles. My kids play with bubbles all the time. A lot of time, two bubbles get close to each other, they stick together. Couple bubbles stick together, they form a little shape. Different chemicals inside of those bubbles, then you have a little bit of a barrier. They're going to find out one day, too, how it works. They'll be able to recreate the environment in a lab and see what happens, the first stages of life. And most likely, it doesn't even have to have, every planet doesn't have to have abiogenesis itself. They've studied asteroids and asteroids that are hitting, an asteroid hits Mars. There's life on Mars billions of years ago. Asteroid hits Mars. It explodes dust and rocks into the space. Some of them eventually land on Earth. And there you have your RNA, basic, simple ingredients to create something. Very likely it could be seeded. It happened one time, trillions of planets, eternal time scales, and all it has to happen is one time the right chemicals have to line up with the right type of bubble, chemical reaction, the right type of bonding, and then it starts to erupt. You know who knows a lot about this is JFG. Maybe we'll have JFG on sometime to talk about the first cell.
Most of these losers wouldn't be such insufferable bigots if they could actually get a woman to have sex with them.
And they get psyoped by the
They're both married.
Psyops, namely
Pretty sure.
atheism. And as you know, my thesis seems to be more and more vindicated that
I love how he points out a couple popular atheists that knew Epstein, because Epstein was trying to get in with science people all over. Not believing in the Jewish God and Jewish magical books is a psyop. No, the Jewish books getting the whole world to worship the King of the Jews, that's not a psyop. No, not believing in that is the psyop. Okay, dude. The Jews and the Torah agenda is to get all the goyim believing in the God of Israel. You're the psyop. You're the Jewish propagandist. You're the liar. You're the charlatan. You're the BS apologist. You're the Russia shill.
Mainline atheism was a top.
You're on Disinfowars.
Especially all of the info that comes out with Jeff Stein McGeffrey. What do you know? As we said, the top so-called rationalist atheists are hanging out with and flying on the planes.
So a couple of the new atheists from the 2000s took a photo with Epstein at some point. Does he think that those people invented not believing in Yahweh? Does he think atheism was invented during Epstein's lifetime? Oh, one guy with Epstein, so all science and atheism is a Epstein ball psyop. Go fuck yourself. That's how trash and low tier this Bible thumper, this Bible brain is.
Of Jeff Stein McGeffrey, which, by the way, are CIA planes for 3 decades, as we now know.
Atheism is a psyop. A lack of belief in gods that don't exist is a plot from the government that started before the government existed. Can't beat that logic. And again, anytime these evangelical asshats try to play the buddies with Epstein game, they're just setting themselves up for titanic levels of self-delusion, since most of Trump's inner circle is on there, and Trump himself is the record holder for most mentions by an order of magnitude. If you want to toss away scholars and intellectuals for this reason, you go right ahead and throw them under the bus. Just make sure to dump literally the entire roster of MAGA leadership along with them, and I won't say a word. Will you go on the record?
Yeah, you don't think Epstein had any photographs with Christians?
Condemning Trump? I bet you won't.
And it appears that
he's photographed getting blessed by the Pope. Remember that? Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and the Pope? Hey, I guess Catholicism is a psyop. I guess...
Also,
hey, Epstein shared some Bible verses in his emails. I guess the Torah is a psyop now. Great logic, bro. You don't even know, it doesn't even know logic fallacies. Just fallacies Reddit tier Fedora.
Lane apparently was a high tier Reddit mod with like 14,000 posts in the Reddit atheist sphere. Of course, Professor Dave is the literal incarnation of Reddit. So
there's nothing funnier
Reddit.
than all of these douchebags getting constantly triggered by the existence of a website. It's a place where some people say smart things that debunk their entire fragile worldview, so it's the devil. I don't even use Reddit, dipshit. This is all you have, since you can't engage with anything.
All they have. Once you see their interactions with everybody else, it's all they have. It's so pitiful and pathetic and disgraceful. You have to be a special type of retard to fall for this shtick.
And won't even try. I could call you Craigslist homosexual casual encounters if I want. It's not an argument, but I might start doing that anyway.
Well, we know who actually created science, and I don't think y'all are ready to have this conversation. So,
Yaakov?
Yeah, well, Yakub McCaffrey. So y'all ain't ready for this conversation?
You know who created science? Would that be fucking Aristotle, dumbass? This brain-dead loser is trying to pretend that literally the entire edifice of science is an evil plot from the CIA. It's impossible to get dumber than this.
Dave is the perfect representative of a person raised on that. He believes, of course, that his position is rational.
And you were raised on Christian Zionism? You think that's better? How embarrassing. This guy was a Christian Zionist buying John Hagee prophecy books in his 20s as an adult. Sounds like somebody that nobody should be listening to me.
Logical. He's against these silly religious people, and he's so much smarter than everyone else, but he can't even formulate an actual argument. That's what
if you don't believe in Jewish magic, you're Reddit. Good one, bro.
Noticed in watching several clips.
Real high intellectual tier, bro.
Yeah, if the debate was about whether Dave has learned some basic chemistry, I'm sure Dave would do good. But that was never the question. The question was, you're venturing into the domain of metaphysics and philosophy without even realizing it.
No, I explain basic biology, and you dipshits just crap your pants. And
you can't talk about anything without doing my tag presuppositional transcendental argument.
Cry. Biology isn't philosophy. You just want to turn everything you don't understand into philosophy so you can pretend to understand it. You have zero ability to refute anything I've ever said and have never tried even a single time.
Derek seems to be the most butthurt out of all this, and he, together with Gnostic Informant, did a victory lap video after Dave did yesterday's video.
Seethe about it, Dyer. Seethe.
Calling me a bunch of poop joke names. It's a bunch of really low tier Reddit. Like Reddit people, if you don't know,
low tier Reddit. It's so low tier in Reddit, dude. You're just so high and intellectual, bro.
The first time I was invited to an Orthodox conference, I got punched. I got punched by a dude.
Oh my God. Based ortho priest that punched Jay Dyer. That is hilarious. He punched him? I wish that was on camera. No way.
The first time I was invited to an Orthodox conference, I got punched. I got punched by a dude. He's a professor. He didn't like the fact that I was arguing that Orthodox Christianity could be defended through transcendental arguments. He got in my face a very large, sort of portly dude, and he punched me. And there were many witnesses there. I think FDA was there. And I still remained Orthodox. The next year, or maybe 2 years later, at that same conference, a gigantic 400-pound professor got in my face and screamed at me, yelled at me to try to get me to leave, over thinking that transcendental arguments could prove God's existence. I mean, I've seen and dealt with some of the most insane, crazy.
So not even his own church approves of his bullshit apologetic shtick of the transcendental argument. That's funny
stuff from people in this domain that it's hard to believe, but it's true. You can ask people that were there. FDA was there for that.
That sucks, bro. Hold on, what is this?
I love Jesus, and your sighting I'm wearing right now.
There it is.
I try to wear it every day.
Why do you wear it?
Because I love Jesus, and I believe my faith is the reason I'm here, and this is God's plan for my life. And faith is what grounds me, and allows me to be good at my job and be good at as a mom. And it's all glory to God, and I'm only here because of Him, and I believe that to my core.
You're not only a good mom because of Jesus.
And that's very important to me in my personal life, my professional life, and that's why I'm very proud to wear this cross. It brings me comfort, especially going into the lion's den of the press briefing room.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Give us some advice. I know your time's tight. Give us some advice on antagonistic people who are not of goodwill and still representing Christ.
Yeah.
Hard.
Just gotta represent truth and speak the truth, and know that this is sometimes a battle between good versus evil in this country, and good won on November 5th.
Yes.
And it will continue to win. And this president is focused on ensuring that all Americans are uplifted, and that faith is restored. And it's just such a blessing to be part of this administration.
Not very good.
No, they're like obsessed with anuses. They're all about anuses, the air that expels out of anuses, putting things in anuses, women becoming men so that they can go into the anuses. That's really all they're into.
Yeah, I didn't reference anuses anywhere at all, and I don't use Reddit. But more importantly, what body parts are you closeted shit sniffers obsessed with again?
Penis, fully functioning penis.
1/8 of a PP.
Penis that we have now. Different kinds of penises.
PP in the testicles.
Penis, temporary penis, proto-penis.
1/8 of a PP.
Penises.
Dude.
Penises, penisness, penis.
PP comes to be PP.
You hate to see people deny their sexual orientation just because of the religious ideology they've been brainwashed with, huh?
Try to investigate their worldview. You find out they're actually pseuds. They're not actually educated. Now, when I say educated, I don't mean did you study chemistry at a community college. No, I'm talking about actually educated in the ability to argue, to have good discourse, to have good communication.
Dude, he has the worst discourse. Everybody sees that you have the worst discourse. Wow.
Unbelievable. To make your case. Rhetoric, logic.
I got my chemistry degree.
Rhetoric, you don't have any logic. Only I have logic. That's a logic fallacy.
Just institutions in the nation, kiddo. You're allergic to reality. You're also a fucking idiot who couldn't put an argument together if his life depended on it. That's why you just shit your pants and whine in a racist Jew voice.
That's exactly what we just heard Professor Dave argue. 'Cause I say so.
'Cause I say so? I didn't say that. You mean the part at the end where dumb fuck Jim Bob asked why he should listen to me even though my brain doesn't have some magic purpose from his imaginary god? He should listen to me because I'm right, and he could learn something. So that's what I told him. If you want to be a big boy and tell me where I'm wrong in that exchange, or in any of my content literally anywhere ever, you could give that a shot. But we both know your dumb fuck face can't do that, right?
When I talked to Derek in DMs asking him for a public debate, he's essentially affirmed the same thing. I'm not going to debate philosophy. It's not my field. However, I will assert that Christianity is not true, and I'd be happy to assert Christianity is not true on a stream with you, and you can come on my stream. So This is how fragile and arrogant grown men are. As people, yeah, exactly in the chat.
Said the fragile toddler throwing a tantrum because he's completely incapable of debating either science or religion. Why don't you want to participate in a debate to defend your religious beliefs, kiddo? Oh, because you can't, since you're stupid. Same reason you run like a little bitch from scientific debate? Typical. Anyway, if you were to assume that was the end of it, you won't believe how wrong you would be. Of course, his little tantrum about me was part of a 6-hour live stream, so that gives you an idea of how much bullshit this douchebag can spew in one sitting. Guess who else had a marathon live stream? Jim Bob. Not a Professor Dave is cooked, while you can still hear the sizzle coming from where I spanked him like a misbehaving toddler in the 1950s. His live stream was...
It's funny how they could be completely destroyed and embarrassed and give a shameful performance in a debate, and then they still all just lie to each other and pretend like they won every time.
Only 5.5 hours long, though. He doesn't quite have the stamina for douchebaggery that Jay has. What did he talk about for 5.5 hours, you ask? It was a non-stop whine fest about me, naturally. Here are just a handful of snippets, since nobody in the world should be subjected to this.
So I saw that Professor Dave, he is just spurging and coping, and his scientismo evolutionary cult is losing it. They don't like that, you know, upwards to about 300,000 people are seeing their priest say that his own brain has no purpose.
The moron who is about to spend 5.5 hours coping and seething thinks that I'm coping and seething because I posted the full interaction he wishes he never begged for. And of course, hundreds of thousands of people who had never heard of him are laughing at what a dumb piece of shit he is, once again, because I posted the full interaction. And my viewers are definitely the only people he could be talking about, because this loser can't crack more than a few thousand views on anything he's ever done in his life.
They don't understand. They think, oh, you're just doing philosophy wordplay, right? That's what they think.
10 years ago, I was traveling on a backpacking trip through South America.
Midwits, subtard.
Sweater that was hand.
No. It's a big problem. They just don't want to talk about it.
I want to see a clip of him hanging out with Owen Benjamin. This guy was the biggest Owen Benjamin fan until Owen made fun of the Trinity, and then he turned on him, started attacking him, talking shit. He was at Owen Benjamin's Beartaria in these little jean shorts. I need to get a video of that. This guy thought Owen Benjamin was a genius at one point, so that gives you a little bit of perspective on where he rates on the intelligence scale. His guru, his leader was Owen Benjamin.
And it's a bigger problem for evolution. It's not just the fact that your epistemology is gone when you take that position. The problem is that the purpose of everything else in your body, as far as proper function, there's no such thing as proper function. That's the point.
Said the clueless moron who is still missing the point. Everything in your body functions, dumbass. Every organ, every cell. Function does not equal purpose. Purpose implies intent. Man-made objects have a purpose because they were designed with intent. Biological systems were forged by blind natural processes. They exist because they have function.
Is he a flat earther too? I think he is. He's like a gravity denier, maybe geocentrist. I know he definitely teases flat earth. He's a dinosaur denier. I know that. Jim Bob is 5'2", yeah. Yeah, he's a little shit talker that would never say anything like he says online in the real world. He's a little bitch like that.
Utility that is continuously selected for. Your pathetic attempt at passing off your own stupidity as some kind of win with the brain bit is the most pathetic thing imaginable. Brains have function. I use mine to dunk on your dumb face. Your brain sucks, so you can only use it to whine and pretend that mental masturbation with random philosophical jargon qualifies as intellect. It doesn't.
And so he's coping. Obviously, I'm not even going to watch it. I saw the title of it, and you don't need me to tell you how bad faith not a Professor Dave is. But I want you to notice that my invitation.
Who's bad faith here? Like, Professor Dave is the one that knows a lot about evolution and science. What's your scientific background? What, freshman biology in high school that you barely passed? What is your education on these things? Who's really being bad faith here? You're just a lying con artist Christian apologist that's bullshitting everybody and trying to make everybody retarded, as you are.
Challenge to him for a debate preceded all of these interactions.
What in the sweet fuck are you talking about? I literally had never heard of you before this week. You were in the dumb video I reacted.
Hey, Big Mama, thank you.
$50 on Rumble. Smash the goal. Really enjoying the Sunday evening book study. Thank you, Adam.
I'm glad you like it. It's pretty cool for me too. I'm glad I decided to do it. Substack link below. Sign up for the private Zoom call book review on Substack.
Acted to, and I didn't even learn your name.
Thank you, Big
for that,
Mama.
Since
I'm glad
Jay's
you
name
joined.
was in the title and not yours. That's how irrelevant you are. I know your name now because you shat your pants about my video humiliating Jay, and then you begged to debate me on that live stream. You got what you wanted, you instantly regretted it, and now you're inventing other debate challenges in your head? Do these morons think that they can just make a silent wish to debate me, and I'll somehow hear them and materialize in their mom's basement? Can you say delusional? Have these asshats ever heard of email? Anyway, if you're curious what it looks like when a science-illiterate moron fumbles concepts that children understand for a solid 5 hours, go check out his video. I'll just pivot back to Jay. As we said, in typical pseudo-intellectual fashion, along with his marathon live stream cope fest, Jay started barking all over the internet about how I would never debate him. I'm so scared and I would get wrecked. Here he is pretending that he challenged me to a debate and that...
It's funny how they do this when then they all run. Everybody wants to see them. Even this morning on Twitter, there's a few people like, Jay Dyer would destroy you. They'd be like, didn't Jay Dyer debunk you? Or they say stuff like that. And it's like, no, dude, your guru is not going to save you. He's scared. He runs. And then they go chasing after Professor Dave with millions and millions of subscribers demanding a debate, and they get trounced.
I declined. That's funny. My email inbox is suspiciously empty, big guy. This is all these loser cult leaders can do. They know they have absolutely zero ability to debate me. They know nothing about biology, and I don't take shit from trolls or allow them to run their pathetic scripts. I expose their tactics and beat them into submission. So it would be a bloodbath. But he needs his fans to believe that he really wants to debate. So he just goes on social media and pretends he wants to, never contacts me in any way whatsoever to formally set anything up, except this comment I pinned accepting an evolution debate that he never replied to, and then announces that I've declined because I'm such a big coward. Well, sorry, baby J, the only coward here is you. Everyone knows that I'll debate any creationist on evolution on any neutral platform anytime. And if you weren't such a delusional asshat, you'd have snooped around my channel and seen what happens when apologist frauds like you puff up their chest with fake debate challenges. This is also how I know you didn't even watch my recent video on you, since I specifically pointed you to my playlist on Sabur Ahmad, who did exactly what you're doing now. He pretended to want an in-person debate but never set anything up despite claiming that he did. I mocked him so relentlessly for it that he eventually had to agree to do it online, and I humiliated him. And as dumb as he is, you're even dumber. But none of you morons will ever learn this very obvious lesson. The lesson is, when I debunk you, just keep your dumb apologist mouth shut until I forget about you and move on. You all do this to yourselves. You have no one to blame but yourself for this. I made an innocuous reaction video that you could have ignored, but no, you had to make a response where all you did was shit your pants and whine in a racist Jew voice, and then your dumb fuck face actually posted it on the internet.
You don't know what anything is. Well, you don't know.
Any normal person would think, wow, that's embarrassing, not my best showing, I'd better not post that. But you thought it was top-notch content. You really thought that wouldn't come back to bite you in the ass? And the same for Jim Bob. I was minding my own business on a live stream. You begged to be let on to debate me. I humiliated you for 30 minutes and posted it for everyone to see. Now hundreds of thousands of people who had never heard of you know who you are and that you're dumber than rocks, and will mock you everywhere you go until you either die or you stop making your shit content. When you kick and scream and beg for me to take a big dump on your reputation, that's very obviously what you're gonna get. So Jay, stop pretending you want to debate. You know you don't. As I said, and as absolutely all of my viewers know, I would debate any creationist on any neutral platform. And stop falling back on this, I want to...
Yeah, and the cope about not running from debates with me, too. Number one, I know that he can't refute what I'm saying. That's why he doesn't want to do it. But he acts like, oh, he's not serious enough. Dude, he's debated Joe Schmoes, no names, people with no clout, no following, total retards. He'll talk to any total retard in a space or call into a show, but he's scared. He's scared to take on Goyshiak, clearly. What does that say? And neither him or any of the Christian apologists are doing any debunking of the Jesus mythicism. They're not. They just say, even Bart Ehrman says. It's a fallacy, dude. They love calling out fallacies, and then they appeal to consensus and appeal to Bart Ehrman fallacy and think they're done. Get fucked.
Bait tag shit. Nobody cares about your pseudo-philosophical mental masturbation. This transcendental argument...
Boom, hold on. Yeah, let's debunk the transcendental bullshit in 30 seconds.
That's very obviously what you're going to get. So Jay, stop pretending you want to debate. You know you don't. As I said, and as absolutely all of my viewers know, I would debate any creationist on any neutral platform. And stop falling back on this, I want to debate tag shit. Nobody cares about your pseudo-philosophical mental masturbation. This transcendental argument presuppositional horseshit is genuinely the weakest argument for God ever conceived of. It's basically, God exists because I say so. There's no...
Exactly. They go, you can't have logic or transcendentals without God. That's the assertion in the premise. So transcendentals exist, so God must exist. 'Cause you say so. That's your assertion. Your God must exist, and the way you know about it is the ancient Jewish books that you believe.
A god is not needed for logic to exist, and even if there were a god, it wouldn't be the ineffectual genocidal loser your cult worships. You fall back on this because you're too much of a spineless little bitch to debate the topic you were pretending to be an expert on. You made content pretending to debunk evolution. I reacted to it and showed everyone how fucking dumb you are. And you have the balls to whine about people not wanting to debate some random topic? If you're too scared to debate evolution, why are you opening your dumb mouth about it in your content? It's because you're a pseudo-intellectual fraud who is the personification of the Dunning-Kruger effect that finally got his comeuppance. And since you and your pathetic...
InfoWars tier. Illuminati in Hollywood. Ooh.
Cult have demonstrated yourselves to be the most pathetic, insufferable pieces of shit on the planet, you will now join my collection of punching bags, to be pulled out and beaten relentlessly whenever I see fit. For the rest of your days, the thing you will be the most famous for is being one of the idiots that Dave dunks on sometimes when he feels like it. That's your legacy now. And one last time, just a reminder, you did this to yourselves. So that's it for Jay Dyer and Jim Bob.
Totally cooked.
I've ever had the extreme pleasure of
take the L.
Internet. If you've been entertained by all this, let me know, and I'll be sure to dunk on them some more as necessary.
Good job, Professor Dave. Professor Dave W. Take the L, Ortho Bros. The Ortho Bros have all gone into hiding. After I whipped up most of their top influencers in debates on Crucible, they've gone into hiding, they've mass blocked, and all they ever do is lie and slander and cope. They're ridiculous Jewish cult of wannabe Jews with circumcised brains. All right, I got to go. I got to watch the fam. Wife's got to leave. Appreciate you guys. Got close to the goal today. I will be back tomorrow with another stream, possibly a guest. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, sign up for the Substack below. Clip the show. Greatest way to support is clip the show. Follow on YouTube. Follow on all the links below. And I will see you guys again very soon. Tomorrow. Take care.